Hey, what is up everyone? So in today's video, I want to talk about the future of Sea of Thieves as it pertains to 2022. So during the big preview event like a week or two ago, we got basically a layout for what the next few seasons are going to be. And we already knew what season 6 was going to be about because they mainly talked about that during the presentation, but they also teased a bit about season 7, 8, and 9. And I mainly want to talk about those, but we'll also talk a little bit about season 6 and why I'm really excited for this year of Sea of Thieves. So let's first talk about season 6. Season 6 starts off with the first adventure that we're doing, and I think adventures are really the key point for Sea of Thieves in 2022. This is how they are going to give us monthly content. There's no more events, there's no more like Reapers vs. the World or Volt Raiders, none of those events anymore, I don't think. I think it's just going to be these, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Some of the events were really good that we've had in the past, but most of them were kind of like mediocre, except for the Christmas time ones. I think the Christmas time ones are a lot of fun, and I hope they keep those. But Adventures is definitely the right way forward. So we've already talked a good amount about Adventures, and definitely we're gonna have our first one on Thursday. I already have a video in the works for that, so be sure to check that out if you're not already subscribed. And I'll be giving my thoughts on it in next week's video. But today, let's focus on what's actually coming in season 6, 7, 8, and 9. So season 6 bringing with it Sea Forts and Pirate Legend content, which is we already know is going to be a Pirate Legend Voyage that's coming out, and I'm really excited for those two things. Sea Forts, I'm not too sure how I feel about it yet, just because I feel like it's basically the same thing as a Siren Treasury. I like the Siren Treasuries a lot, and I worry that this isn't going to be different enough for me, like in terms of like just the way it feels. The thing with Sea of Thieves is PvP combat is really fun. I don't find PvE combat that fun. If we had like maybe better sword mechanics where instead of just button mashing it, I know a lot of people call it sword spamming and they get mad at me in the comments about saying that I do that, and there's really no other way you can use a sword in Sea of Thieves. There's only one way to swing the sword. I think it'd be cool if they maybe change that up a bit, but that's not going to come in this update, and it's possible maybe that'll come up in a future season, but I'm not sure. I think that'll take a drastic overhaul, and it might not be worth it in the long run. Not until they can get hit ridge and other stuff fixed. So that got off a little tangent, but Sea Forts, I'll be optimistic about it, but I can't say that I'm too excited. I would have rather have seen something more unique rather than just another fort, because we have so many of these kind of like, you go to a place, you fight waves of enemies, you open up a vault. We've had so many things like that already, and it's kind of getting old for me. Luckily, that's not all that Season 6 bringing. Pirate Legend content we're getting, based off of what we've seen so far, I think it's going to be really awesome. Obviously, there's not much we can talk about yet until we actually get it in our hands, but I'm really excited to finally be able to do some Pirate Legend stuff, because up until now, I have not wanted to do any Pirate Legend content really. Even the Gilded Voyages, like, I know that they're very valuable and stuff, but they're so boring to do. They're not interesting at all. I think this Pirate Legend content is going to change that and actually give a reason to becoming Pirate Legend other than a few cosmetics that you can get. That's really exciting to me. I'm curious when we start seeing the mystery begin. It's going to be our first mystery that comes out in Season 6, and that's going to continue on through all the seasons. And that seems pretty cool to me. I think they've said that the first one's going to be about someone dying that we know and care about a lot, so that should be interesting. I think we'll have some fun videos we can make about theorizing what's going on with all of that, and I'm sure the adventures are going to be pretty good too. There's not too much that I can think of to talk about Season 6 that we haven't already discussed in our podcast and in other videos, so let's move on to Season 7. So the big thing in Season 7 they say is going to be new ways to play and progress. Out of all four of the seasons that we have to talk about today, this is the one that I spent the most time trying to figure out what they meant and just coming up with what could possibly be. And what I came up with is when it says new ways to play, I think this is referring to maybe making solo playing a bigger deal and somehow making it better. Because right now, Sea of Thieves is really focused on playing with a group of friends, or at least another friend, whereas if you play by yourself, it's not as great for that. I think this is going to target at that, and that's really exciting for me as someone that does play solo often. I'm curious to see what they do, but honestly, I cannot think of anything for like how they could change it to make solo playing better. But also, we have to remember that this also says new ways to progress as well. So, could this mean that we get a Hunter's Call emissary? That would be pretty cool. I think they could possibly do it. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. If Reaper's Bones doesn't even have a voyage and they're able to do it, Hunter's Call, you could literally just make it so that the more that you fish or the more that you cook, the higher your emissary grade gets. And then it just worked with like all the other emissaries. Maybe we had those fishing voyages not too long ago, about a year ago during season 1 we had that fishing event. They could make that the emissary quest for getting a grade 5. That'd be pretty cool. And maybe that sends you to a location where you get like a couple of trophy fish or something. I don't know. That's just my thought. Yeah, so season 7 was the one that I had the hardest time coming up with stuff. I honestly just don't know. I would love to hear what y'all think about this and all the other ones we talk about today. But I especially want to know what you think this could mean, because my mind is blank. I definitely think the solo player thing is going to be an influence for this. I just don't know what else they could add to that. Also, I noticed for season 7 is that next to it, it has this like compass thing with a skull in it. I'm pretty sure that's the same symbol as what was added to the sloop recently on that curtain. So that might be a hint to it. Just saying, like playing solo, playing on the sloop, same symbol in that and in this. Could be a hint. I don't know, man. Just my thought. So next, let's talk about Season 8. And this is expanded roleplay and quest types. So I was thinking about this for a while. When the announcement came out, I really did not know what the heck they were talking about, because we just got a roleplay update with Season 5. And that was great. But if you asked me to predict those things like a year ago, I would not be able to, because it's so many different things that was added in this Season 5 update. I have a feeling that's what Season 8's going to be. However, one thing that I could think of that would be cool for like expanded roleplay is overhauling the ship customization so that you can actually like basically make your ship in like your captain's quarters look exactly how you want. So you can rearrange furniture maybe. You could just do whatever you want. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing lately, and I'm kind of getting used to like customizing my house and stuff. And I think that'd be something really cool that they could do in Sea of Thieves. Maybe not to the full extent like that game, but you could do some things like maybe we can change like different shelving in there. Maybe we can display different accommodations that we get. So you could have like different cosmetics that sit on like a shelf for different accommodations. So like if you killed the shrouded ghost, whether it's a myth or not, we can find out later. Maybe you can put the tooth up on a shelf or something like that. I think that would be super cool. And I know that's something that everyone really wanted for a while, more like ship customization in that sort of way. And I think that could play in with the role-playing aspect. It also says quest types, expanded quest types. So we're getting this new Pirate Legend voyage coming in season 6, and all the other trading companies other than Hunter's Call have gotten updated with like new voyages over the past like 2 years. So the only faction that is missing a quest is the Reaper's Bones. Could this mean we finally get like the bounty system that we talked about before and make that like a quest for the Reaper's Bones? That could also play with like the role-playing aspect. That would be really cool. I think that could be potential possibility. Maybe not the bounty system, but at least something for Reaper's Bones. Because what other quests are they going to do? Unless they make a whole new faction. which is possible. Maybe that plays into the Season 7 progressing thing. They could make a new faction. I kind of doubt it. I don't see us getting a new faction unless there's something drastic that's added to the game. So like how when we got fishing and cooking and stuff, that was a drastic change. And that made sense to have a new faction for that. But I don't think we'll see any new like Merchants Alliance or Gold Hoarders unless we get something completely brand new. And that could be something in Season 7 and then they add quests to that in Season 8. But I highly doubt it. I think the Reaper's Bones quest idea is probably the most viable option that I can see right now. But who knows? Anything's really possible at this point. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention with Season 8 is that you notice this little ship icon next to it. So each of the different like teasers, they have a little icon next to it to kind of give you a hint. So the Season 8 teaser has a little ship on it, and that kind of made me go into the whole overhauling ship customization. That's kind of where I was like, maybe that's a hint towards that. Just a random thought, we'll see. It's going to be a while till we find out, but I'm looking forward to it. Finally, we have Season 9. This is the one that, if I'm right about this, is my most anticipated. So, new social options for crews. I am really hoping that this means minigames. It doesn't have to be many, but I think they saw how excited people were with the dice emotes that came out, and they're probably like, hey, let's do more of that. And I think it would be really cool if we got things like chess, maybe like a card game. I would really love to be able to gamble some of the gold that I have. I don't know if they could get away with it, but I think it'd be so cool if you could go into any tavern and you could sit down with another person from another crew, and then you both bet like money, like in-game, like the in-game currency with gold or whatever, and you could just play some games and make a little bit of money. If they were super worried about it, they could put a cap on it, but honestly, like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm sure there's going to be like a few situations when maybe like some kid gets their Xbox hacked by a friend or something, and then they get like a bunch of gold taken from their account to the other person. So maybe you could put a cap on it at how much you can lose in one day or something. I don't know. That's something I would really love to see, and I hope that that's something that Sea of Thieves is working on. I would love gambling, but I'm going to keep my expectations not that high because it's typically frowned upon with a lot of stuff. So just mini games in general, like it'd be really cool if we could play like chess or blackjack or any kind of game that they could think of. You could make it pirate themed, but I'm really excited for that if that's what they're talking about with social options for crews. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be that, if I'm being honest. Unless it's something like completely different that's way bigger than I'm thinking. What else could they do for social options? I mean, they already added like the talking feature, and that's not enough to carry a whole season. I think mini games is enough to be like the key thing for a season to like get us going throughout the whole thing. Alright, so those are my thoughts on Sea of Thieves in 2022 and everything that we could potentially have coming. I'm really excited about the future of the game. I think Adventures is a great way forward for it, and I think all this new content that we're going to be getting is really going to help keep the game alive, because it feels like in the past we've had seasons where they had a great start and then it just slowly dies for a bit, and then it comes back for a bit when the next season comes, and then just slowly keeps dying. And I think Adventures is going to help keep the game going throughout each season. I'm hoping that Sea of Thieves does well in 2022. I know the Pirates of the Caribbean was a big boost last year, and I'm hoping they have something like that this year that will bring in a lot of new players to the game and just keep it going. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about all of this? Do you think I'm completely wrong? I'm sure I'm wrong about most of it, let's be honest. But I'm hoping some of the stuff that I thought of will come at least eventually, if not this year. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, it'd be great if you have to like and subscribe. Check out on Thursday, we'll be having the new adventure come out. I already have a video planned for that morning, but I don't know if we'll be able to do the live stream that night. We will see. If not, it will definitely be on Friday. So make sure to check all that out, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.